Praise the Lord, it's over. Oh my God. You know, there is so much dissent and division and hatred, and I mean, you can go on and on and on. And it just is like a cancer. And it's devouring the fabric of the United States. This hatred and division, and I'm sorry, it all comes back to one driving force. And that's our news media and social media. This app. Unless we as a society make our journalists, so-called, because they're not journalists, not right now, they're not, unless we make these, I don't even know what to call them because they're not journalists, accountable for their lies and their deception and their unethical behavior, because it does cause people to lose their lives. All you have to look at is the people who have been murdered by illegals who've been allowed to come here, who the press spin that it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they're here illegally. Well, if they weren't here, they can't possibly murder Americans, right? I mean, it's absurd. So we as a society have to make these people accountable, because in just about every other industry that has this much direct exposure on Americans, there is a checks and balance. There is no checks and balance in this industry. I personally believe, based upon what I learned when I was studying journalism, maybe 10% of the national news that we hear is really news. The rest of it is just bought and paid for propaganda. So you're delivering and you're misleading the American public, which can and does cause harm to the American public. I personally feel we have absolutely the right to have freedom of speech. But I think when you are in an industry that delivers information to the American public, there must be a national standard, a code of ethics. You have to have a license. You have to sign a contract. You have to have a moral and ethical contract that says that you are delivering factual-based information that doesn't lean to the left and doesn't lean to the right. It is just strictly a factual-based industry. Maybe it's a pipe dream. But after seeing the lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie, and even going so far without back-checking a story to accuse a former president of interfering in a ceasefire when it's already been debunked that it is completely and totally false. Think about what would have happened if somebody actually heard that and lost their temper, and then it escalated again and more innocent lives were lost. That person, that individual that posted that story, I'm not going to call her a journalist because she's not, has blood on her hands if that had happened. And there has to be a consequence for irresponsibility. There is in the rest of our society. I think this is a serious issue, and I think it has to be addressed. And I think you and me, if you agree with this, we have to start a grassroots effort now to make change. And the way we do that is locally, statewide, and then nationally. Because these conventions are not conventions either. They don't go and discuss policy. The policy is done and decided, and this is just an orchestrated entertainment to make everybody feel good. That's all it is. It doesn't do any more what it was intended to do. If it did, and the Democrat delegates actually voted, how do we know that she would have been chosen? The key here is all of that money that has been donated can't be controlled by anybody else. The money, the money, the money, the money, the money, the root of all evil. And it has bought off the delivery system of delivering facts to the American people, which is the definition of journalism. Non-biased delivery of facts. That is the definition of journalism. That died a very, very long time ago. And it is one of the biggest reasons, maybe the biggest reason, that this nation finds itself at this crossroads, because the machine is out of control, and there are no checks and balances, and there are no consequences for bad, unethical, and unprofessional behavior. It is not what was intended by all of those brave men and women who came to this land and made a country. It is a slap in their face, and frankly, it's a slap in all our faces as citizens. And we must hold our lawmakers to a higher standard as well. Or our civilized society, it won't survive it. Don't know if you agree with me or not, don't really care. Just putting my opinion out there as I'm entitled to do by my freedom of speech. I sure hope our future is not what was put on display in Chicago this week.